All right, it's late in the evening. I just got home from work, but I want to see if this fuel pump is any good down here. So I went ahead and ran a fuel line from the fuel pump, just, straight into the bucket here, or into the little fuel can I got here. The original line was so brittle, I literally just touched it and it snapped. So let's get this thing fired up. We're gonna nurse it on some gasoline for a little bit, just right into the carburetor, and I'll try to keep an eye on it down here to see if I can see the fuel pump pumping fuel. See if we can get it to run for a minute or two. All right, we got Derek's old Lone Wolf 6000 going on here. Let's go ahead and fill these bowls up. Perfect. All right, should fire right up. Did she pull in fuel? Just a touch more and see if I don't know if this fuel filter here is doing plugged or whatnot. I don't know if this fuel filter is plugged. I'm assuming the bowls probably, or the floats, aren't really doing floaty things. The fuel pump works. So there's another thing we got working. Keep messing around with this week as I can, after work. And we'll keep going. I'm excited. This thing's gonna run great. Might take it on a trip. I've been thinking about it. You guys gotta let me know. Once I get this thing running, I wanna go take it out, just take it on a little trip. Where should we go? I've got Sedona, the Red Rocks in Sedona. We'd go hit Sedona. Or there's the Cinder Pits. We could go to the Cinder Pits. That would be kind of fun too. Also just in this kind of, just right here around my house, I got a ton of trails and roads that just kind of go here, there, and everywhere. So we maybe just find some random roads, take a day trip, go up to, Williams or something like that. So throw down in the comments down below where you would, in northern Arizona, like to see we take this little dude out for a quick road trip, just, before we really start digging in, before we start pulling the windshield frame and replacing body panels and cutting and welding on this thing to get it all fixed up. Once we get it running, nice, solid running, where should we go at that point? So drop that down in the comments below. All right, we'll be back tomorrow and continue on this. All right, so what I did last night before I shut her down, I went ahead and filled both of the bowls up entirely. I'm kind of worried that the floats are stuck in the closed position, not letting any fuel in. The fuel pump was pumping, but she never actually took off and started running off of fuel. So I went ahead and removed this fuel filter, which was in the trucks. I don't know if that's plugged or causing restrictions. I just put a fuel line in line there. I have a filter going before the fuel pump to try to help keep, I got good clean gas here, so I'm not too worried about it right this second, but we're gonna crank on it and see if we get any fuel coming out here. If we do, I'll go ahead and jam that on real quick, because I'd have to try to run all the way around and shut the key off. So yeah, let's see if we can actually get fuel into the carburetor and do carburetor things. I made my own. It's got gasoline and Berryman B12 and some Marvel Mist oil in it, and just kind of put it in the carburetor, and hopefully it'll kind of free up stuff that's in there. Let's see what happens. Definitely got that gas in there. She's definitely smoking. All right, perfect. Let's see. See if we get some fuel. All right, she is not pulling fuel. Well, it's kind of looking like the fuel pump's not working. Dang it. Okay, we got the fuel pump changed out. We just went for it, and then I cranked on it, and it's immediately just spraying fuel out of here. So I got that on there, and she started. But listen to her. She's a little smoky, but look at that. The squirters are squirting. This is exciting. Oop.
The verse of the day, Philippians 4, verses 6 and 7. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus.
Let's fire it up with a key. I'll leave the radiator off, or a cap off, and then we'll just keep topping that off as she warms up. She runs so good. Let's turn the lights on. Wow, no way. Alternator's charging. No way, the dash lights are working. Look at this. You like my little gas can setup I got there? That side marker's not working. That one's working. Look at those brake lights. Well, I got the light on right now, but she's charging. I need to hook up the temperature sensor. Oil pressure gauge doesn't seem to be working, but I know we're getting oil pressure. I can hear it. Also, the lifters would be making a racket right now if there wasn't any. But whew, she's getting smoky. Oh, I think the thermostat's getting ready to open. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in reverse real quick. Just see. We're not gonna move. I just want to see if the transmission engages. All the power brakes are working. Okay. No way. We got reverse, neutral, drive. Yes. All right. I think we got the radiator pretty much full. Still gargling a little bit. The water pump is working. I can see the water's all churned up and brown. This thing's got decades of oil and just who knows what on those exhaust manifolds, and it's just smoking like nobody's business. I'm really kind of glad I left this thing outside to get it running. The carburetor appears to be working flawlessly at this point in time. The transmission just nice hard shifts right into forward, right into reverse. I checked, the power steering is working. The power brakes are working. It shifts into gear. We've got like 90% of our lights are working. The backup lights aren't working. That's okay. We'll figure that out. I'm sure there's a little switch down there for the transmission or something that needs to be, you know, weeble wobbled or plugged back in or something. And it's got great throttle response. The squirters are working. You go give it and there's a nice shot of gas that goes in there. I mean, I couldn't be happier. This thing, everything seems to be working on this thing. She's just, you know, getting her woke up from her nice long slumber, and she seems to be coming around pretty decent. So let's just keep working. Tomorrow, let's see if we can get her to pull fuel from the gas tank. Once we have her pulling fuel from the gas tank, then, I mean, it's time to party. All right, so today, what I want to do is I want to check and see if the fuel tank or the pickup in the fuel tank is clean and clear, if we could actually pull fuel from the tank. I know whatever's in there is probably disgusting, but I'm gonna blow air through here. You guys go listen back there at the filler neck and see if you can hear any air coming through. All right, here we go. Let me know if you hear anything. All right, that's awesome. I'm really excited about that. I think if I tried to blow through it with my mouth, I don't know if it would have. I think it kind of, to me, it sounded like there was a little something stuck, and when I put some pressure to it, it kind of blew it out. We used the air compressor on that, and hopefully we didn't create any new leaks. So I'm gonna run down to the gas station real quick. I'm gonna go fill up 2 5-gallon jugs. It also sounded pretty empty to me, which that's probably a really good thing. I'm gonna go grab 2 5-gallon gas jugs, fill those up so we can get 10 gallons. That's about a half a tank. We can at that point see also if the fuel gauge works. I don't know, it may, it probably doesn't. Let's see if we get this thing pulling gas from the fuel tank and actually move this thing under its own power, more than like a foot. So let's go do that real quick. I need to get this thing running so I can get it inside the shop where I got all my fancy lights so I can work on it later than working 8 o'clock at night. All right, we have the fuel line hooked up to the tank. I went ahead and put the ground cable on, you know, properly, and positives hooked up. I think we're ready to go, ready to get her running off the tank. We got 5 gallons of gas in the tank. I am going to go ahead and fill the bolt or the carburetor up with gas, and hopefully she'll run long enough to pull fuel from the tank. Fingers crossed. All right, so she's idling pretty well, but as soon as I go to put it in gear, she starts bogging down pretty bad. And you can't give her more than like a whisper of a throttle. If you give her any more than that, she just immediately starts coughing and spitting and sputtering and backfiring. Now that could very possibly be the vacuum advance. But, I mean, look at this. Oh, just a little backfire there. Yeah, she's doing the same thing. But she might just need to just drive around for a bit, you know, blow the cobwebs out. We're definitely burning mouse houses or something under the hood. She is smoky. Let me clear the garage out, and I'll go ahead and put her in there. Smells nasty. I'm sure that's all that nasty gas working its way through. I don't think there was much in the tank, but we only added 5 gallons. All right, so I figured out the steering wheel, why the steering wheel is, you know, doing that. That's because there's no bearing left. As soon as I got the steering wheel off, actually, I had a couple of the ball bearings it just fell right out, right onto the ground down here. 3 or 4 of them, and you know, as you can see, there's just not much left. Also, this blinker switch is pretty much just completely toast, but I mean, I touched it and it's disintegrating. It's just so dry rotted. So there's that. So we're putting together a list. I need a new bearing for this. I need a new blinker switch. We need to figure out what's going on with the carburetor. I think it's timing issue. I haven't put a light on it yet, so we got to get that situation first. It could just be gummed up primaries or secondary jets, and I think that's also a really good possibility, but it backfires, which tells me that it's something to do with timing. I've tried driving it with and without the vacuum, the vacuum advance hooked up to the distributor, and it kind of was still doing the same thing. So that kind of maybe leads me to believe we might have, you know, other massive vacuum leaks in all of these things causing it, but I definitely want to get the timing set. I'm going to start putting together lists. I'm going to start ordering parts, and we're just going to start getting stuff so we can just, you know, that's kind of the way these guys go. They're just, you know, one thing at a time. Yeah, it's a little rough. Yeah, there's things that need to be fixed. We got rust. We got windshield frames we need to replace. We got rocker panels we need to cut out and replace. And we can do those things one at a time. I'm not a big proponent, right? Derek preaches, and I'm gonna reinforce that preaching. Just get it running and driving, drive it, and enjoy it. If you buy something and decide I'm gonna just rotisserie this thing right off the bat, you're never gonna get it put back together, and you will have never enjoyed it. So just take it, get it running, get it driving, take it out, enjoy it, have fun with it, and then just do little projects. But say, hey, you know what? This weekend, I'm changing out the windshield frame. Go buy all the gaskets and all the parts and pieces, take it apart, put the windshield frame, put it back together. Windshield frame's the wrong color. That's okay. Just run it. You know, and then maybe a couple weekends later, you cut the rocker panels out and you weld new ones in. That's fine. Do that. One thing at a time. If you try to just take the whole thing in at once, it's going to get overwhelming. It requires so much dedication and just grit to do a full restoration on a car. And we're talking, you know, frame off, pulling the whole thing apart, taking it down and sandblasting, cleaning, scraping, painting everything and putting it back together is an immense amount of work. I did that on the Pug, and that's a very small little thing. That's like 1/10 of the parts that a car has. And that took me 12, 17 weeks, 15, 18, something like that. Like, it took me a long time, and it's got like no parts on it. It's nothing like a vehicle. So to think you're just going to buy something, especially if you have no experience or previous in doing full restorations like that, don't just get the thing running, get it driving, make it, you know, that's the big project. Get it running, get it driving, make it dependable enough that you can drive it down the road and enjoy it, right? And then fix one thing at a time. Maybe fix the AC, maybe fix the steering wheel, fix the horn. Just one thing at a time, save up, buy the parts, you know, figure out what it needs, buy the parts, get it running, get it fixed, do the one thing, move on to the next project, move on to the next project. Eventually, you'll have a really solid vehicle that runs and drives great. And okay, yeah, so it's got some rust, it's got a few whiskey dents on it, but it's fine. It's not, you're not building a SEMA rig. You're just making something that you want to drive around in. So let's just do that. All right, day 14. No, not really. But so we got the thing running. We got it pulling fuel from the gas tank last night, and we actually drove it into the shop here, which is nice because now we have lights, and I'll be able to film later than 6 p.m. when it gets dark. So what I want to do today, I've realized there's quite a few vacuum leaks. The carburetor is bogging down and backfiring, and one of the major causes of that is vacuum leaks. So I want to go through two things. I want to make sure the carburetor is actually bolted down tightly on the intake manifold. You might look at it and go, oh yeah, that's tight, but you can still have some vacuum leaks because the carburetor is not fully seated. You might have a loose bolt or something like that on there. But what I'm going to be doing after that, I'm going to be disconnecting all of these vacuum lines that are connected to the carburetor. Here, vacuum boots, and you can see it's got a big old huge crack in it. That was just a massive vacuum leak. So we need to get things like that. We need to plug those guys up. One of the other things I did last night off camera, I pinched off this hose, which goes to the evap canister. Because this was built in 1979, it does have some preliminary early emissions systems on it. So it's got an evap canister, which basically pulls a vacuum on the fuel tank to keep any fuel vapors from escaping from the vehicle. Because Lord knows, if you have gas vapors, just leave your car, the walruses are going to die in Antarctica. So that's what they have on here. It pulls a vacuum on the gas tank to suck any vapors into this canister, and then it just injects it right into the carburetor, and then they just get burned up in the carburetor, which is fine. But this has a vented gas cap on the gas tank. So by having a vented gas cap back there, this has now become just a massive vacuum leak for the carburetor. So then we're going to get the timing set. Just verify, just double check, verify that the timing is set properly. We might have to make a little adjustment on this guy. That's no big deal. Once we have the timing set and we know we don't have any vacuum leaks, then we can try to drive it again. Except we can't because I took the steering wheel off last night because I need to order parts. But let's get into this first. So I went down and bought a little kit. It's got generic, you know, sizes for all the little vacuum ports. And so I'll just be disconnecting all these vacuum lines and plugging them on the actual carburetor. And then we'll go from there. So let's hook up the Vacuum Advance, see what that does. Well, I need you to go under the spark plug wires. Goodness gracious. All right. The only vacuum system currently connected is the Vacuum Advance. Nope, too much. Back her off a touch. That sounds a lot better. Just another little scope. Oh, that sounds good. All right, now let's bring the idle down. 3, 2, 1, go. I like that. That's snappy, it's responsive. I want to see, make sure I got the carb set right. Timing's good. It's not super advanced. It fires right back up. I got the timing. It was actually off by quite a bit. It was like 5 degrees retarded, so I got it adjusted. It's now sitting about 12 degrees advanced. I think that's probably gonna make a big difference. I want to try hooking up the brakes booster real quick. Oh, I don't think the brake booster is leaking. I think I'll be all right with that. Let's turn the idle down just a scotch. Is she still snappy? Nope. So, but that's where she wants to be. So I think we got this thing running really, really well. The only way we're gonna know is once we get the steering column completely put back together and get like a steering wheel in there that works, and then we can actually take it out for a little drive and put it under load and just, you know, kind of see what she does. But I think this thing's really coming back around pretty well. Currently at this point in time, that carburetor doesn't need to come off. Carburetor doesn't need to be rebuilt. I got a rebuild kit for it, new floats and everything, and we don't need to do anything with it. So I think what I'm gonna do next is let's get this oil changed. And then those parts for that's not gonna be until Sunday when this video goes out. So we didn't get as much, you know, just like, whoa, you know, I mean, it went from like coughing once to actually moving under its own power. So I guess that's, you know, kind of a good step. I got something in my eye. I got like 95% of the parts that I thought I was going to need in order to just make this run. Like I ordered them right away. As soon as I bought it, I immediately just ordered those parts. And so as I'm kind of going through like the steering column, I didn't know what the steering column needed, right? So, so last night we got that tore apart. I got that ordered, right? I just recently ordered the vinyl to redo this. I got a new windshield frame. I got the rockers are coming. Sending unit for the fuel tank is coming. I need you guys to let me know what tires would you think would look the best on this. So what did this thing come from the factory with? Well, it came with either you had your regular, you know, run-of-the-mill highway treads, but what I read is if you got the Rally Edition, it did come with some all-terrain tires on them. It came with Goodyear Tracker ATs. Super old school. I'm sure there's somebody out there somewhere, some company that probably makes reproductions of them, but the 14 seconds research that I did on Google, I didn't really see anything. So I'm kind of leaning more towards let's just throw some modern tires on it. I don't necessarily, modern tires are way better than old school tires, just everything about them. So this is the question. Do we do BFG KO3s, just some nice all-terrain BFGs, or do we go with the BFG MTs, the KM3s, they're mud terrain tires. And it's got this Pro Comp up here in the front, which is a mud terrain, and it kind of looks pretty good, like on the Scout. Like it just kind of gives it that like a little more aggressive, a little beefier look. So drop a comment down below. Tell me what you think I should put on this, and we'll do those next week. That oil smells like straight bad gas, like nasty, nasty gasoline. You know what? I really like this. They got the filter angled. It's about 45 degrees angled back, and you can actually, you loosen the filter and it drains the oil without the oil going all over the filter. I got hot oil on my face. So this is an old school oil filter. Never even heard of this brand. Group 7 V1A. That's the oil filter that came out of it. We will be going back together with this guy with a Wix. And yep, looks to be the same. So we're gonna go ahead and go with my favorite oil in the whole world. Castrol GTX, high mileage. It's got extra zinc and goodies in there for high mileage engines. You know, it probably wouldn't hurt to run diesel engine oil in this. So that diesel engine oil probably be good for it. But if nothing else, we can run this 1030. Originally, it called for 30 weight monoviscosity. And there's guys out there, even to this day, it's like, hey, service manual says 30 weight. I'm putting 30 weight in it. Well, that's fine. But, you know, welcome to 2025. We have oils that are better than that. So do you really like your engine? I don't know. If you really liked your engine, don't you think you'd put the best stuff in it that you could? But hey, it's their engine. For me, I'm going to be using the most modern, top of the line, up to date oil that I can get my hands on. So yeah, we're running a synthetic 1030 in this bad boy. I'm sure she's going to eat it up. Remember the first time we started this thing and it was just like billowing smoke, just like violently. Like you couldn't even see, like the camera, there was like several times the camera was getting smoked out, right? It was just, let's just fire it up one last time. Now she's got some fresh oil in her. And let's listen to her purr. Like a kitten. Thing fires right up. I mean, granted it's warm, but fires right up, purrs like a kitten. One of the things that I want to do, the very first thing, like as soon as I get the steering wheel put back together and I fire this thing up and put it in gear and we go for a drive, I'm going straight over to my neighbor who I bought this from, and I told him, I said, hey, I'm gonna get this thing running, I'm gonna get it rocking and rolling, and as soon as I do, I'm gonna come by and give you a ride in it. I want to try to shoot for that next week. And I'll bring you guys with, so you can meet him if he wants to be on camera, and take him for a ride in it. Just be like, hey man, here we go. We got her running, got her driving. So, all right. So I think that's going to do it for this week. We got the engine running. Like last week, we put some gas to it and it kicked over. It started and ran for like 12 seconds. We got it to actually run, and now we can just roll the key over and it just fires right up anytime we want. We got the timing set, so that's good. We got the carburetor tuned in. That's running good. I mean, you heard it. That sucker's nice and snappy. We got the oil changed. We got it pulling gas from the fuel tank. We even took it on a little drive just right here around the house. It actually moved under its own power. So we know we have brakes. We have a transmission. I didn't feel it shift into any of the gears, so I don't know if it does gear shifting things. We can figure that out once we get onto the highway. Yeah, I'm super, super excited. We know the master cylinder or the brake booster works, and it doesn't have a vacuum leak, and that is so relieving because that is not cheap. And don't forget to drop down in the comments what tires you think would look better. Should I go mud terrain or should I go all-terrain tires? Don't forget to subscribe. We got plenty more going on with this thing. We're gonna be doing rust repair. We're gonna be doing windshield. We're replacing this entire windshield frame. And then we're gonna be replacing that and replacing the rocker panels. We'll be cutting those out, welding new ones in. Never done one of those before, but I watched a YouTube video on it. So I think we should be fine. Just hang in there, subscribe, and come back next week. This is gonna be more fun next week. Perfect.